you know, you go to the gym and you lift weights, and Bobby, that's great in your 20s and 30s, but a lot of people aren't willing to transition, so they keep trying to do that stuff in the gym, and some get away with it, but a lot of them, like you were saying, oh man, it's gonna take me a couple weeks to recover from my workout.
Yeah, and that's not what you want. I want people to feel that they're energized. And I love all types of yoga. I was the guy, though, at first 42 years of my life, wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga.
Yeah, this is the fountain of youth, man, like nothing else.
100%, man. I loved when you called yoga the glue.
It's the glue, it's the key to everything else.
3, you're at 96, push. 3, 2, 4, push. 3, 2. This ain't your mama's yoga.
No, ma'am. Welcome to Power Up with me, Tony Horton. Now, you know me from the Power of 4 and my supplement line, Power Life. Now, usually on this show, I am putting a guest through their paces, but today is a very special episode because our athlete today has created this powerful workout, and I cannot wait to do it with him. Now, I want to introduce to you my guest. He is a WWE Hall of Famer, a 3-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion, Tag Team Champion, US Champion, so many titles. He is the founder of DDP Yoga and, of course, master of the Diamond Cutter. Please welcome Diamond Dallas Payne! Wow, my brother!
Man. Come on, brother!
I cannot tell you, my friend, how awesome it is to have you here today. This is a real treat to have you at my home. I'm slightly nervous because you're actually much cooler than I am. So, dude,
stop it,
I can't wait to get after it today.
I'm just happy to be here and do the show with you, man. I'm all about that power life too, bro.
Well, thank you, man. We had a nice conversation about it earlier, and I think it's going to do some real wonders for you, man, honestly.
Well, it's healthy, and that's what I'm all about.
Well, it helps these grow.
That's right.
And by the way, what you're going to do today with me is so unusual. Can you talk about that a little bit?
A lot of people call DDP yoga. They'll say, oh, man, I love your yoga. It just happens all the time to me.
Right.
Where someone will come up and, oh my God, DDP, I love your yoga. And anybody who's with me goes, ooh, not good. Because they know.
Why?
And I look at him, I go, what'd you call it? He goes, your yoga, man. I lost like 40 pounds with your yoga. I go, what did you call it? And I get right in their face, what did you call it?
Right!
DDPY, I'm good with DDP yoga. But DDP yoga or DDPY, the main reason I'm going that route is because I want people to stop calling it just yoga, because it's not. It's yoga, it's rehab, it's old school calisthenics, done with a slow burn movement. It's dynamic resisting, engaging and flexing as you're moving, as if you're a bodybuilder, as if you are weightlifting with no weight. And then I add the extra stuff on it, which is my jack straps, they're blood flow restriction bands.
Well, the beautiful thing is, here you are, creating all this, increased strength and size and muscles without, a lot of people can't lift dumbbells, they can't, they have to pick them up, they got to get them in place, and then when they're done with their last couple of reps, they can't put them down, and that's where they get hurt sometimes.
And a lot of people, we're lucky that at our age that we can actually do the things that we can do, but most guys who used to lift heavy, they can't anymore.
They're broken.
And they can't get that. They can't get that rush, that pump. Like that's a bicep and tricep that doesn't lift weights.
Right.
And that's the beauty. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, because as you get older, this is my big thing. All right. How many times you left the gym, like when you were lifting weights all the time? Oh God, what did I do? My shoulder, my back, or my knee, or my pec. I have never got off that mat and said to myself, boy, I wish I didn't do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'd walked out of that gym going, why did I do that?
Right.
And for me, this is the fountain of youth. It's the way that we can hold back the hands of time as you continue to go. It's what you call yoga the glue.
The glue.
And that's
fountain
what
of youth
DDPY
and the
is.
glue to everything else in your life so you can improve in everything else in your life.
100%.
Without it, you're going to have issues with it. And with what you're doing, you're getting a lot all at once, which is awesome.
Awesome. All right, so here's the deal. What makes this different is it's a combination of things. I don't ever call it yoga.
Gotcha.
Because they're expecting, reach your arms to the heavens so the universe smiles back at you.
Yeah.
We're gonna start by bringing our feet out hip distance.
All right.
And all I'm gonna do is right now just slightly bend your knees, all right? Now I want you to grip your toes into the mat. So you feel it in your calves and everything, all right?
Yeah, right.
Now I want you to straighten your legs, and I want you to try to pull them together, but don't move them. Isometrics, and work your adductors.
Oh, that's happening.
Right. Now tuck your tailbone and squeeze your glutes.
Gotcha.
Now hit them. Flex the quads, flex the glutes. grab the ball. Now what I want you to do is open those fingers wide as you can. Tight, tight, tight. Awesome, like that. Now I want you to create your own resistance as you take it up into touchdown. Keep going, a little quicker.
Oh, okay.
Now, reach for that left hand and stretch it. Open those fingers wide. Now reach for the right. Now we're gonna come down here, we're gonna push the thumb and index fingers together. And I mean push tight, like, don't let me do that. Put them like right, like that.
Oh, yeah, ow.
Started earlier. Tight, tight, don't let me do that. Open those fingers wide. Grip your toes, Tony Horton.
Feel that in my pec. What's happening?
Push together, tight, open those fingers. Inhale, take it back. Arms out to a T, clench your fist, hulk it up, Horton.
Oh!
Yeah! Now stay with me, open your fingers wide. Tension, shoulders back, chest out. At ease. Ain't your mama's yoga, bro. Bring your feet together. All the way together.
My pec was going to explode. It was awesome. All right.
Grip the toes, tuck the tailbone. Hit them, flex quads, flex glutes, grab the ball. Now I want to bring your hands on your knees, turn your tailbone up. Instead of being, say here, turn it up. Now, roll your shoulder blades back. Deep breath, exhale, fold forward. Run your hands right down your calves, tuck your chin, and get some length. Inhale, bent-legged bar back, hands on your knees, roll your shoulder blades back. Exhale, fold forward. One more time. Inhale, bent-legged bar back. Exhale, stiff-legged bar back, straighten your legs. Almost coming off your heels a little bit here, looking over that ridge. Deep breath, exhale forward and then down. Grab your elbows and hang.
Oh, yeah.
Tuck your chin. Get a little more length. Deep breath. We already got Horton from 46 to 81 on the meter. Take it back. Arms out to a T, give it to me, T. Hug it up, yeah. Tension. Huddle up, toes and knees out. Hands on your quad, shoulders over hips. Jack them if you got them. So this is where you take both hands, take across, and tighten them up.
So the cuffs, what are they called again?
These are called, I call them jack straps, because they get you jacked up. You know, and what they are is blood flow restriction straps. So when you're tourniqueting and twisting them, it's cutting off, not completely, but it's creating blood flow restriction. And you know, when you're lifting weights or doing any kind of multiple set, you really don't start to grow until you get to that last 2 or 3 reps.
Yeah.
And that's because all the blood's in there.
Right.
Well, this does that immediately. So, but the bottom line is, what DDPY really is, it gets you a kick-ass cardiovascular workout, dramatically increase your flexibility, strengthen your core at a different level, and here's the kick. All with minimal joint impact. So you're not beating up your body to have a really serious cardiovascular workout and break up scar tissue. So what's better than that? Then we're gonna reach out, just like we're doing back, all right?
Yep.
And we're gonna pull. 3, 2, 1. Count with me. Again, push. 3, 2, 1. This is 3, 2, 2. Pull. 3, 2, 2. Come on, Tony, count with me. Push.
Oh, sorry.
3, 2, 2. Let's bring the energy. Pull. 3, 2, 3. You're at 96. Push. 3, 2, 3. Pull. 3, 2, 4. Deep breath. Push. 3, 2, 5. That's 4.
Okay, 4. Okay.
Pull. 3, 2, 6. Push. 3, 2, 6. Keep your knees back. Pull. 3, 2, 7.
7.
Push. 3, 2, 7. Last one. Pull. 3, 2, 8. And push. 3, 2, 8. Take it up in the touchdown. Pop them. Pull that chest through. Awesome. Drop those hips a little more. Deep breath. Exhale in the down dog. Drop your head, curl your toes, lift your glutes. And let's walk the dog here. Stretching that back, hamstring, behind your knees, down in your Achilles, and just keep reversing it.
Yep.
Want to challenge yourself? Come up on your fingertips. Deep breath. Exhale, bend your knees. Look at me, step or pounce. Toes and knees out, squat, drop, and lower. Kind of opens up your lower back and shit.
Oh, man.
Feels great.
After yesterday, this is gold.
Pull. 3, 2, 3. Push. 3, 2, 3. Pull. 3, 2, 4. Push. 3, 2, 4. Squat in when you pull. 3, 2, 5. Push. 3, 2, 5. Pull. 3, 2, 6. Push. 3, 2, 6. 2 more. 3, 2, 7. Killing it. 3, 2, 7. Own it, baby. 3, 2, 8. And push. 3, 2, 8. Take it in. Touchdown. Great job. Oh, pop them. Got you up to 112, baby. Standing still. Break up that plantar fasciitis in my left foot.
In my right foot.
Work it, baby. Come up on your fingertips. Deep breath. Exhale, bend your knees, step or pounce. Squat, drop, and lower. Push them out. It's like any yoga you've ever done.
No. No.
Left forearm to the mat. Now let's take the left hand out. And let's twist the right hand open. Inhale, fist the hand. Push him out. Right forearm down. And walk it across. Now open it up and twist that left hand open. Opposite side, other side.
Well, yeah,
There you go.
There it is.
Your other left.
Yes, thank you.
Inhale, fist the hand.
Still working on that.
I know. This one's 3, 2, 3. A lot going on here,
Yeah,
bro.
man. I'm like, woo, but I'm hanging. I'm trying to hang.
You're doing great, brother. I'm such an honor to be taking you through a workout, bro.
This is boss, brother. I'm telling you.
Deep breath and take it up. 3, 2, 3. Good guess.
I'm trying.
Last set here. Now bring that left forearm to the mat. Now reach through and grab your right ankle. Take your right hand up and just try to push and open up.
I
Inhale.
love that.
Isn't that
Holy
great?
smokes. Where's that been my whole life?
I did that one day because I just felt better when I did it.
Dude.
Right
So
forearm. That's why I started doing this, because I just felt better. Bring your left hand on your left knee, grab your left ankle, and just open it. Fist the hand. This is a 5 count.
Okay.
Deep breath. Count me back. 5,
4,
4, 3,
3,
2, 1.
1.
And a touchdown. Toes and knees forward, fold forward. So now we're in stretching position. We got you at 113.
Wow.
From 46. Inhale to touchdown.
Something is happening.
This ain't your mama's yoga.
No, ma'am.
Right hand down, left hand over. Take it up, diamond cutter. Push them together, tight. Take it back. Out to a T. Make some noise, Tony. Yeah!
Oh!
Attention! At ease. Great job, brother. Inhale in the cobra.
Something's happening.
Exhale in the down dog. Inhale, take the left leg to the sky, 3-legged dog.
Left leg.
Left leg. Deep breath. Exhale, left foot lunging. Let's get in that lunge now. Inhale up into superstar.
Superstar.
Now, jack him if you got him. Now we're gonna do curls and tries.
Oh my Lord.
And we're gonna pull. 3, 2, 1. Push it down. 3, 2, 1. Drop the knee a little when you pull. Pull. 3, 2, 1. Push. 3, 2, 2. Pull. 3, 2, 3. Push. 3, 2, 3. Pull. 3, 2, 4. Push. 3, 2, 4. Pull. 3, 2, 5. Push. 3, 2, 5. One more. 3, 2, 6. Push. 3, 2, 6. Take it into superstar. Pop if you got him.
I got him. I got to pop him.
Bring that right hand to the mat. Twist that left hand open. Now inhale, Tony, just bring it through, just like this. And exhale, open. Really helps break up the scar tissue in your shoulders. I got so many guys like that. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Count me back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now take that left hand, bring it towards your right heel. Try to look over there, over your chest, back at your hand. Deep breath. Exhale all that air out. Inhale, bicep to your ear. Exhale, forearm to the mat. Inhale, twist it open. Exhale, count me back. 5,
4,
3, 2, 1. We're
one.
going to explode into touchdown here. Deep breath. You have your hands here to modify. Biceps to your rib cage or interlace your fingers, whatever you want to do. Deep breath. A little Ric Flair at the end of this. Deep breath. Count me back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Explode. Woo! 10,
10,
9,
8,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 with control. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Going down.
10, 9, that's cruel.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 2, and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way down.
Oh, I love you right now.
All right, forearm sphinx here. Pull your chest through. Pop those guns. Shit's crazy with these things, right?
Dude!
I never would be able to get your heart rate up like that without them.
I'm seeing the evidence right.
Pull it up a little farther. Look up. You're lucky you really can look up. I can only look so far.
I didn't do what you did.
Can't fake gravity in wrestling, baby.
I'm telling you, man.
Exhale, pull down. Go your toes, push in a down dog. And let's just lower in the safety zone. Spread your knees wide. Open them up, push your hips back to heels.
Never in my life, Dallas, ever. This is insane, and I love it.
I love it that you love it,
I
man.
love it. I'm in love with it.
Inleft in the cat lift. I knew I was gonna love you, man.
Good.
Exhale to cat arch.
I was scared of you, I'm not gonna lie. But
Drop
I'm
your
not
head,
anymore.
Arch your back, tuck your tailbone. Inhale, cat lift. Look up. Exhale, cat arch. Inhale, cat lift. Let's curl the toes, push it in down dog. And let's take that right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Deep breath. Exhale, right foot lunging. Come up in a supported lunge.
I know what's coming.
Yes, you do.
I know what's coming.
Up into, what is it called?
Superstar!
I love that chick from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, my buddy roommate with her for 5 years. Molly Shannon, yep.
Dude, I gotta be able to do a workout with her just to be able
I'm
to
gonna
say,
make that happen for you.
I love that.
I'm gonna make that happen for you.
I do this because of her. Superstar. Okay, Jack, if you got him. Pop him. Bring that left hand to the mat. Swiggle that left leg back deep.
Yep.
Twist that right hand open. Now inhale, pull it through. Exhale, open. Inhale, pull it through. Exhale, open. Two more. Inhale, pull it through. Exhale, open. One more time. Inhale, pull it through. Exhale, count it back. Take it open. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let's bring that right hand back towards your left heel. Deep breath. Exhale, bring that bicep to your ear. Exhale, bring that forearm to the mat. Inhale, twist it open. Exhale, count it back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both hands on the mat. Swing that right leg up. Shake that out. Come back. Fingertips. And lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold. 5,
4,
3, 2, 1 with control. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and lower. 5, 4, 3. Come on, Tony Horton. Get in this, baby. Get in.
4, 4, 3, 2,
And hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way down. Oh my God.
My thumbs don't normally do that.
Just open it up here. Come on. And over some table, and then we'll go right to the mat. Now this time, take your right hand behind your back. Let's walk that left hand across the mat.
Oh, that's good.
Open up that whole left side.
I've done yoga, 20 years. It ain't never looked like this, brother.
Bring it back up. Safety zone, left hand behind the back. Take that right hand across the mat.
Oh man, that stretch is awesome.
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh yeah. The hand behind the back, I've never done that before. That changes the whole thing.
Now come back. You come right in the table. And that for me, like everything, so many of these things, I'm gonna show you a couple other things. This is all stretching stuff though. Here.
Yeah.
Inhale, cat lift, look up. Exhale, cat arch. This right here is the absolute best thing for your back. I learned this in rehab. A lot of yoga places will do it.
Yep.
But this is really a rehab move, big time.
It's awesome.
Deep breath. Now let's just reach back and grab that foot. Perfect. You got it? And take it up. Perfect. Because we're going to go someplace with this right after this. It's a different. I guess it would be a different. What would you call them? Spots in wrestling. It would be a different run here. So what we're going to do is exhale, take it out, let it go, and get the length. Knee to elbow. You say 1.
1,
Get it long. Crunch. 2.
2,
Crunch.
3, crunch,
Crunch. 4. Last one. Crunch and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, reach and stretch. Count it back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now here's why I did this. Walk this over. And let's sit into a what I call can opener. But people will know it maybe as a hurdle or stretch or pigeon or
Pigeon, yeah.
And this really helps. Like when I started here, Tony,
You were underneath there.
I was there.
I'm still not. You're in a better place than I am.
Well, I
Look
do
at
it
my-
every day. Every day. Because my knees are bone on bone, and I'm sure yours got to be close.
Mine aren't so good.
Yeah. So start to work that back foot back. Try to see if it's back here. Just try to trap this so you get used to that, okay? And just try to straighten that back leg out a little bit.
Yep.
Let's just bring that left forearm down. And then the right. And then take them as far as you want to go. Just breathe into it.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night.
As you know, no one knows this better than you, Tony Horton, that this, it's super stiff, especially at our age, baby. You got to keep hitting it, baby. You just got to keep hitting
Dude,
it.
this is, as you know, I've done so many different workouts, and
Yes.
yoga has always been a huge part. Regular yoga,
Right.
Yeah, this is the fountain of youth, man, like nothing else.
100%, man. I loved when you called yoga the glue.
It's the glue.
Yeah.
It's the key to everything else.
100%. man.
Yoga allows your body to be able to do all the other things you want to try.
Right. And allows you to keep doing them.
Keep doing them, yeah.
Okay, now walk your hands back. Now, here's something no one's ever done before besides me that I know of. I'm sure people are using it. But curl your toes, take your knee up the ground, take the left leg up. Let's stretch it first. That's not the new thing, but this is. Let's come down. Just walk the dog a second.
Yeah.
And then I want you to take your right foot, put it on your left ankle, and then drop your hips. And just kind of like readjust the hip. So it's so out of configuration what we just had it in. Just let it,
That's
Nice
just great for my toes
yeah, so much, so much for the toes, man.
and my arch.
Into bridge, and let's bring our hands underneath and roll our shoulders under into suspension bridge. Pick up your right foot, put it on your left knee, look over your left shoulder. Now this side was chronic for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it just got really, I just couldn't do it. In the last 6 months, I've been able to do it because of a series of reasons.
Yeah, but you've always got this to come back to, if there's anything, you can go all the king's horses and all the king's men can't always put you back together again.
100%.
And you got yoga, man, because the more you do, the better you get.
100%, or DDPY, right?
Correct. Yes.
Point that
I'm not gonna make that mistake another time.
Pick that left knee up and grab that back of the hamstring or the shin. And on that first stretch, just keep little exhale, little inhale, little exhale, little inhale. Inhale, let it go. Get the length. Pull that foot away from your hands. Exhale, reach through, and let's get that crunch again. Inhale, pinfall on the bridge. Exhale, human cannonball. Pinfall on the bridge. Exhale, human cannonball. Bring it in tight, tight, tight. Kick out. Woo! You're a dead man. And if there was women here, there'd be a dead woman. You know, Shavasana, right? Dead man.
Dead man.
Just think of Undertaker. You're a dead man. Tony Horton, fist to hand, brother. It was an honor, a serious honor to be here with you in your home, which is really sweet.
Thank you, bro.
Take the deepest breath of the day, my brother. Exhale, check it out. Push it out. Hit it. Bang! Boom.
So what is the Paragon experience? When you look at the definition of Paragon in the dictionary, it's seeking to be your best. Just 24 people supporting each other throughout the process, no matter whether it's a seminar, whether it's a pool workout or an obstacle course in the backyard. Why is Ninja part of the whole thing? Because the fun factor is through the roof.
Ninja teaches you strength, balance, agility, all wrapped in one.
It's life-changing.
Oh, God.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good, brother.
You gonna make it?
You rocked my world.
I just saw every toy you have in the world for fitness. You're the man for that stuff. I just give you a little bit something different.
No,
bro.
and man, I'm telling you, dude. I mean, I've done yoga. I've never done DDPY. All right.
Different,
so,
right?
I mean, look, I did my research. I checked you out. You know what I mean? I knew of you, right? But meeting you, you're a good dude, man.
Thank you, boss.
You're a really great guy, and that was extraordinary, and it was different, and the muscle pump, and the calorie burn, and my heart rate cranking. You know, in yoga, warrior one, warrior two,
Right.
blah blah blah, which I love because it keeps me, it's the glue to everything else.
Sure.
Right? Keeps me.
I think everyone has to have some kind of yoga in their life, and if you're a guy who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga, I developed something for you. You know?
You made it accessible.
Yeah.
To a lot of people who think it's crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, yoga, there's a lot to it. There's 50,000 kinds, but yours is accessible and it's necessary for so many people out there who would never even consider it, and it's life-changing for those folks. And for me, I mean, I crawled in here. I didn't need to crawl in, or did I? Which is a camera. I'm gonna say it's that one. But the curls and the tricep extensions and the fingertip push-ups, like my thumbs, like I do crazy stuff here at my house.
Yeah, you
know
do.
what I mean? But boy, I mean, there are a few times I'm like, I'm on camera, I cannot screw this up. You know what I mean? Dallas is killing it, and I gotta perform. But no, I mean, I feel amazing. And like you and I were talking before, you go to the gym and you lift weights, and Bobby, that's great in your 20s and 30s, but a lot of people aren't willing to transition. So they keep trying to do that stuff in the gym, and some get away with it, but a lot of them, like you were saying, oh man, it's going to take me a couple weeks to recover from my workout.
Yeah, and that's not what you want. I want people to feel that they're energized. I want to feel like they're ready to go. Like you said earlier, you got an hour workout you're going to do here later tonight, and you're warmed up now for it.
I'm ready, baby.
And this is something like for me, and the reason why I'm so passionate about branding my company, which is DDP Yoga, DDPY. Why? Because I want people to stop calling it just yoga. And I love all types of yoga. I was the guy, though, at first 42 years of my life, wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga. But when you start wrestling at 35 and your career takes off when you're 40, which was 1996 for me, and not right away, on the back end of 40, going into 1997, and my career exploded. The Monday Night Wars were going on, and it was a WWF against WCW, and at that point when we exploded, I was killing it. I mean, it was driving me to a force where I was wrestling 272 to 278 days a year. And that doesn't mean like I'm just working. I mean, hitting my body, hitting the mat. And people can think what they want about professional wrestling, but one thing we can all agree with, you can't fake gravity.
No.
You know what I mean? And one match, just one match, would it be like, especially a TV match, would be like having 5 or 6 car accidents. And your body.
It makes professional football look like
well, they're
field hockey. You know what I'm
they're
saying?
tough too. They're super
Yeah,
tough,
sure,
but they play one day a week.
Right.
Except for the linemen. And I work with a lot of the NFL linemen because we are part of the NFL alumni. I give my program to all those guys because they need it.
yeah.
And if you're a lineman, every time you hit, but the rest of the guys, they don't ever touch a quarterback. A lot of running backs don't get hit. You know, there's guys who, they're still beating up their body, but ours is 270 when you're on top days a year in the ring bouncing, then driving 100, 200, 300 miles to the next gig. And there's nobody driving me. There's nobody unpacking my car. There's no one checking us into the hotel, then finding us a place to eat, then go to the gym, and then do it all over again. But it's the smell of the smell of the popcorn, the roar of the crowd. That's what brings you back. And Ric Flair said it the best. It's amazing what your body can get used to. But at some point, you're going to feel it. And I just signed a multi-million-dollar 3-year deal. And that's when I ruptured my L4 and L5 so severely, I had 3 spine specialists telling me my career's over.
I saw the move. I saw when it happened.
And it exploded.
And I remember watching you come out of the ring, right? You came out of the ring and you reached back.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's like, did he really get hurt there?
My mom
Dude, you
always
were like 15 feet in the air and landed on the back of your head, man.
Yeah.
That was,
just multiple car crashes like that. Jeez. And again, in my 40s, my whole run was in my 40s, not in my 20s or 30s.
Right.
So at that point, when I'm being told I just signed a multi-million-dollar deal, it's gone in 6 months if I can't get back in the ring. Right. So yoga, and thank God yoga came into my life. And it really started to help me in the first couple of weeks, but I knew it wasn't giving me everything. So I just started to mix the yoga with the rehab. Yeah. So that's when I added the whole thing together: yoga, rehab, old school calisthenics, and dynamic resistance. And in less than 3 months, I was back in the ring. So I knew I was going to have to do it the rest of my life.
Now I want to say one thing and then I want to ask you a question after that.
Sure.
What I love about what you did, I mean, I talked about it being accessible to more and more people, is that you reinvented. Like, you combined movements, asanas, whatever, postures, that I've never seen before. And then I rename everything. Like, let's call it a leaning incline dumbbell. No, let's call it the Gewürztraminer push. I hate calling it the traditional stuff.
Right.
And what that does, at least for me, because I've totally related to that, I just feel like, oh wow, it doesn't have to be child's pose. It doesn't have to be cat cow. It can be, it just gives it a whole new vibe. Plus all the resistance work with the bands, with your cables there.
The bottom line is though, my workouts start off in bed. Like, you can't get out of bed, I've got bed flex. You do 3 of those workouts.
Bed flex.
Bed flex. And then you sit in a chair and you do chair force. And it's everything from dynamic resistance, just like I was doing with you, and holding your legs out and taking up in a touchdown and diamond cutter, all the same stuff.
Fun.
In a chair. And then next level, that's called chair force. Then stand strong is where you hold on to a chair. And I'm talking about just a regular chair you fold out, you put it down, put the legs on the mat, and then that helps you. This is all my rebuild series, and it helps you start to rebuild back your balance, your strength, helps break up scar tissue because you've got that chair there so you don't fall down. So now you can start really building back your balance. That prepares you for a beginner. And then it goes all the way from beginner, intermediate, advanced, the psycho extreme stuff.
What level were we in there?
About medium? Intermediate.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
And it was
Thank
just,
God he didn't go full bore on that.
well, you told me about your balancing
My
stuff
balance
and stuff.
issues, yeah,
so I just wanted to give a limited amount of that.
That was perfect.
And And what this is right here, these will always be called my jacked workouts. These straps, I haven't decided if I'm going to call them power cuffs or not. I haven't come up with a name yet that I really love. But you take it all the way up. Now, these are used, mainly, their use was for rehabilitation. And again, all of my program is about rehabilitation. Right. I blew my back out. They said my career's over. Because of this program, in less than 3 months, I was back in the ring. At 42, they said my career's over. At 43, I won my first world championship, which is like our Oscar. Okay,
right.
So
right.
I wrestled all the way till I was 46, took off 2 years and came back at 49 just to show what I could do still at 49.
So, congratulations, recently married.
Yes.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
I hear that you did something a little unusual, a little extraordinary. What was that, man?
I threw my wife a surprise wedding. And she knew we were gonna get married sometime last year in 2021, and it was ticking down. And she'd already given me 2 lists, one for a short one, little, couple family members,
right.
and one for a little bigger one. And so I already had all that like 7 months ahead of time. That's ticking down. It's December, and we have our big Christmas party, which is 200 people. It gets a big deal.
I can't wait to go next year.
Dude, you got to call that out. You're going to say that you better come because you're getting an invitation.
With COVID over, I can't get out of the house 2 years, man. I'm going to go places and do things.
Dude, my house makes Macy's look like they don't even decorate it.
No kidding.
Not on the outside,
Shauna
on the
will
inside.
be mad for that.
Inside's insane. So the bottom line is, Paige has been working. My wife's name is Paige, and my first name, before I changed it to Dallas Page 25 years ago, was Paige Joseph Falkenberg.
Wow,
and I
like
knew
a
that.
scientist.
Yeah.
So is her name Paige now? Because Jack LaLanne's wife, you know what her name was?
No.
Elaine.
Yeah.
LaLanne.
Oh my God, that's cool.
Elaine
I love
LaLanne was
that.
married to Jack LaLanne.
So she is Paige, but her last name before she made the change with me was McMahon.
Oh.
Which Vince McMahon, which is like crazy, right?
Right.
So, and she had a career before me. Like she was one of those adventure athletes who runs 100 miles, puts a backpack on her back, and runs. She ran 170 miles in 6.5 days through the Grand Canyon. In 6.5 days, she's climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Fuji.
Whoa.
Like she's an athlete.
Whoa.
And so it'll be Paige McMahon Paige, but everybody's calling
I like
her Paige,
that.
Paige.
I like that. That flows nice, though.
It does. But
So
everybody
what
calls
was the
her Paige,
shock
Paige.
value on that, though? When she was like, "Hi, I'm honey, I'm what?" I mean, like she opened the door and instead of happy birthday, it was put a ring on her finger. Or
No. What happened was at the Christmas party, she was worried. And she came out of the shower, she had a towel on, she walked up to me, she put her arms around me and she said, "You're not marrying me today, are you?" Because she's exhausted right from the party. And I just laughed out loud because it's December 4th and we're going to get married by the end of the year. So I said, "No, but not today." And she started laughing. I go, "Maybe tomorrow." And it was actually 4 days later at the same hotel we reunited at, which was 8 years later, that we actually reunited and got together at, but she didn't know at the time. My daughter Brittany had put all of it together, so it was like when we walked in this hotel, it's a little boutique hotel, and I rented out the whole thing. It's called The Dwell in Chattanooga. It's a really cool, like 50s, 60s type theme, and she saw, she thought maybe it's going to be at The Dwell, but there was closed for a private party, and it had some lawyers' names on there. So when we got into the hotel, they rushed us up to our room, and I'm safe now. I'm excited. 2.5 hours later, we're leaving. She thinks we're going to a party, a red and white Christmas party in Nashville. So she's got this gorgeous red evening gown on, got this white suit with a red shirt on, and we got to the bottom of the steps, and as we're getting ready to leave, there's some girl with a camera, and then they started opening up the curtains, and she saw her brother, and she looks at me and she goes, Are we doing this? Is this happening? I go, "This is happening." And then her family was there, my family was there. She's tearing up big time. She can't believe like we're getting married here. I never asked her to marry me. I told her on our second date back together, "Eventually I'm gonna marry you." just like that. So she goes, oh,
But you never dropped the knee or any of that stuff.
I did right there for
Right
the first
there.
time.
So you asked her to marry you, then you married her.
Right.
That had to be like a Guinness record between asked and happening. That's amazing.
We walked to the back, and she's just so happy. Okay, God, it's gonna be a great night. And then she sees all her friends. So that was like a surprise, and a surprise. So happiest day of her life, and that definitely mine too. It was a magic moment, man. Wow, man. So I finally got with my favorite person. We never been together 2.5 years now, and we if there's anything that gets a little, which everybody gets like that, a little scratchy. We talk through it, and it's like in my 60s, I'm not here to argue with you.
Right.
I want to love you.
You want to be right, or do you want to be happy?
Right. I just want us both to be happy. Right. I don't give a damn who's right.
Yeah. It's okay. They got beeping or keeping it. It's
okay.
Right.
Okay. Good.
But no, man. I mean, I'm that same way about Shauna. I just met my best friend. Took me 6 years. About the 5th year, she's like, "What are you doing?" Because I'm the Marion type. I can only hang on for so long. And then it's funny. We went to Hawaii. I'll make it short, but I had 4 strategies to ask her to marry me. The first one was we literally put our luggage in the hotel room. This is in Hawaii somewhere. I can't remember what, Kauai maybe?
Kauai. I love Kauai.
Yeah, Kauai's amazing. Yeah. We get in a helicopter, and I was going to ask her to marry me in the helicopter floating in front of that big ass long waterfall that's there.
Oh, wow.
Right,
that's
what
cool.
I mean? But then the 3 of us were like, there's Bob, the fingerless pilot, right? He's in Vietnam, right? And he goes, and I can't get the ring because we're on top of each other and there's no wind. It's not a door. You can stick your hand right, and so we're like on top of it. So it's so loud. And then he goes, I can't stay here. The weather's bad. And so on the 4th one, there was another one at a hotel, at a restaurant. They're going to do it outside. They were going to put a table out there by the water. The only table that everybody else was going to be inside. Rain, sideways, just piss and rain. That was another. Then they had another opportunity on a horse. That went to shit. And then finally, the very last one, I don't have a 5th one. And we were just by the beach having a picnic, and she's there, like taking pictures. And I went, this is it, man. I ran up to the thing, and I dropped to a knee, and she looked at me and goes, now, because she had no idea. She thought it was going to be like in a month or 2 or 3 or next year. Right. And then she jumped on me, and I think I almost blew out my knee. But it was awesome, man. And we've been together 6 years, and it's just magic, man. It's the best. Okay, next. Now, you've always been an athlete. How did this passion for sports in general, how did that start for you?
Well, for starters, I couldn't read. At 30 years old, I was reading at about 3rd grade level. So, it wasn't like I could study. I couldn't read. And I just kind of like faked and cheated and did what I had to do to get by.
Personality got you through.
Yeah, right? I got ADD and dyslexia in our age growing up, in the 60s.
I had ADD, ADHD, LMNOP, NYPD.
MOCKY.
I had every acronym I had, bro.
But so sports had to be my thing, and I loved the football and hockey. And then I got hit by a car. I walked out right in front of it. It hit this knee. My face bounced off the hood at 12, and I flew 42 feet from the point of impact on snow, on slush. And
that slowed you down a little.
That ended my football and hockey. To me, I was going to be playing for the Dallas Cowboys or the New York Giants as defensive end. That was my mindset as a little kid, And now the doctors are like, no, can't let you do that. You can't do that anymore. There was no such thing as rehab back then.
No.
They
put a cast on you. You waited 8 weeks, and then you figured it out.
Right, and he was like, you better hit the books. Oh, that's an issue. They gave me 2 sports I could play. And I can't believe they would let me play basketball, considering my knee was supposed to be so bad. Because basketball's all knees. It's all shifting and jumping and jumping and twisting and turning. And that or baseball. And baseball, I sucked at both of them. And what was really interesting is that baseball, you have to have guys. You have to have at least one other guy to throw the ball to,
I know.
With basketball, you really don't need anybody.
No.
Like, you can practice everything. And I sucked. In 7th grade, I didn't make the team. I didn't care because I didn't like basketball. But all your buddies played, so you went and tried out. Well, in 8th grade, I made the team, but I sat on the bench. And I'd never sat on the bench ever. And it taught me that summer, I learned what work ethic was. And I played from the minute I woke up, hitchhiked to the park, and play basketball till dark. Bring some food with me and then come back. And that summer changed my life as far as me as an athlete. And it really gave me it built confidence. And that's what I think my whole program, my whole DDPY program, it builds confidence with stuff you couldn't do. Now you can. Well, I learned that as an athlete, as being a kid. Well, shots I couldn't make, now I make easily. And so the whole education thing pushed me to sports because I didn't have that. Now later at 30 years old, that's when I started to make a decision. I was going to learn how to read proficiently, and how I did it was setting a goal right then was to read a book from cover to cover. And for most people that wouldn't be a big deal. But for me, at that point, it was overwhelming. So I broke it down. And that's when I started learning about breaking goals down. Because it goes back to playing sports. What did I do? Well, I didn't just try to go out there and play, 24 minutes straight or whatever. I broke it down and played X amount to build my conditioning. Same thing with your brain. And I put a thing, I was going to read one page every day, but I just didn't say it. I wrote it down. I tell people all the time, just don't think it, ink it. And I wrote read today, and I put it everywhere. And if I didn't do that, it's kind of like people, they start your program, they're all excited, and then 3 weeks later, life gets in the way,
out.
and it's out. We're done, and they're gone.
Yeah.
But if they would have really set goals for themselves, if they would have wrote it down, if they I have in my phone, I've got alarms now. Alarms that hit me, alarms on my calendar to make sure that I do certain things, because my life can go just like yours, and you can get caught in the middle of life and forget to do things. Well, I write everything down, and that's how I really stay accountable to myself. And I finally did read that book from cover to cover. It took a year, but I did it.
You did it.
And it really started to focus on what I could do, because I knew someday I wanted to be an actor. So
and
you got to be
learning
able to
lines
read.
is a monster.
No, it is. You got to be able to read them to learn them.
Yes, you do. When you first came out, and when you were 35 years old,
Right.
And you had, they were probably the early days where there were smaller crowds and all that kind of stuff. What was your mindset early? Were you scared on those early ones, or were you pretty confident early on?
No.
Had you put in the work at that point
Yeah, no,
to be able to
no.
get up there and fly around and do what you do? Or was it
No.
holy crap, man, I hope I pulled this off tonight?
Well, here's what happened. I literally and I heard Tony Robbins say this one time, I invented Tony Robbins. You invented Tony Horton. You know what I mean? We all do that, and it's a powerful thing. And one night in my club, this is a great story. I am sitting around I'm getting the drawers. We had this big club, Norma Jean's, right? There's 7 bars, there's 15 bartenders, and you walk around with a bouncer and you grab all the money and you bring it to the back, and then the bartenders come back and count their money. Well, that's when we just started drinking. We're going to drink for the next couple of hours, right? We're all in our late 20s, early 30s. Right. And when I'm at the one drawer, I'm looking at the screen. We had video. It's 1985, maybe 86. I think it was 86. And it's Cyndi Lauper video, and it's Girls Just Want to Have Fun. And there's a guy named Captain Lou Albano, who was in professional wrestling, a manager who was amazing, over-the-top individual, and he was involved with Cyndi and all the big, that's when wrestling blew up.
He plays her dad in that video.
Plays her dad. He plays her dad, exactly.
Right, that's right.
And I'm watching that video. Now, you have to understand, I tried wrestling when I was 23. I had 3 matches, hurt the same knee, and the doc told me, take off a month or so, and then you can go back and do it. And I was just learning once a week wrestling, but I wrestled 3 times in front of people. And when I hurt my knee, I got a chance to run my first rock and roll bar. I've been in the bar business since I was 17. So I'd already been in wrestling, and I already had it in my head. And I'm watching that film, and I'm like, rock and wrestling. Man, I should have been a part of that. And I just walked away. I was talking to myself, I was talking out loud. And the bartender who was there, Smokey, walked in, and he's like, Paige J. Remember, I'm Paige Joseph Falkenberg. No one knows who Dallas Page is, And he goes, Paige J., what do you mean, rock and wrestling? You should have been a part of that. I said, well, I tried when I was 23. He goes, what? You were a wrestler? He goes, what was your name? I said, Handsome Dallas Page. And he said, whew, you can forget about using that gimmick anymore. And everybody burst out laughing. And then now my brain goes there while we're all drinking. And I just start doodling on this pad. And I write, Diamond Dallas Page. And then I'm thinking I'm too old to be a wrestler. I'm not said anything yet, but I could be a manager. And I write Diamond Exchange. So, we're drinking and doing shots now. And I'm like, I'm too old to be a wrestler anymore.
How old are you there? Then?
31 at the time.
Wow.
And I was like, but I could be a manager. I said, what if my name was Diamond Dallas Page and I manage the Diamond Exchange? Woo, shot, drink. And then now we're
not like alcohol to kind of pump up the thoughts.
Just, get you going. Some people use herb.
Right.
And again, this is all in my brain. I write it down. About a week later, I get a call from this guy. His name is Kevin. He does this Party News Network. It's a little local, like a cable show that does up and down from Sarasota to Naples, all through Florida, like what's happening in the town. And I did all my own radio commercials back then, which again got me ready for wrestling. But they didn't really know it at the time. So I had ideas in my head, my little scratch notes nobody could read because it's my chicken scratch. Trying to figure out what I'm going to say for these spots. And they wanted to know who was the guy behind the voice, because I would throw synthesizer for Thursday. Right. And I might throw in, oh yeah, don't miss it. Hot legs, $1,000 cash and prizes. Now, what I didn't mention earlier, Jake Snake Roberts had been in my club. Ted DiBiase, $1 Million Man. The Bushwhackers. I had so many of the guys. If you wrestled Tampa.
So they were in your life already.
Right. God sent them there. Because if you wrestled Tampa in Miami, right in between there, that's 300-mile trip. Remember I was saying? Drive 100, 200, 300 miles?
Yeah.
That's a 300-mile trip. Fort Myers was right in the middle. When they found out they had some big mark who was a big fan for them and didn't charge anybody, they came in. So they became buddies of mine. And so this is all, they didn't know if it was Randy Savage or it was, someone doing his voice. So they wanted to do a story on The Voice. And at some point, and I looked like a wrestler back then. I had long blonde hair, and I was in the studio and they filmed me there. I'm wearing a WrestleMania t-shirt. I was a fan.
Right.
And, at some point they're in my office and they go, so where does The Voice come from? Now, Tony, if there's not a pair of white sunglasses sitting there, right there, next to those where I wrote Diamond Dallas Page, Diamond Exchange, and Diamond Dolls, if those glasses aren't there, if I can't hide behind them, I don't know if I do it. But they were there. And I threw them on, and I said,
transformed you.
Right, exactly. The voice comes from Diamond Dallas Page, did it? I was born to be a professional wrestling manager. And they loved it, and they put it in the spot. And then someone saw it, a guy named Smitty from Smitty Sports Talk. He had a radio show, and he called up, and I get a call in the front. I'm in my office, right? And I get a call from the front desk, and I hear, Paige, there's someone on the phone for a Diamond Dallas Page. And I pick up the phone, I go, you, Smokey, and I hang up the phone. And she calls me back, she goes, that wasn't Smokey, his name is Smitty, he's got a radio show. And I pick up the phone, I go, who is this? And the guy basically tells me that he wants me to come on his show. I go, dude, I don't really do it. I was just playing. I was just, it's something in my head. It's not like an idea, it's not a goal, it's not anything. He goes, I'm gonna have Captain Lou Albano on the show. Like, what's the odds of that? And I said, the captain's gonna be on the show? Will I get to talk to him? He's like, dude, you're my expert. I go, I'm in. So I did it with him.
Man.
I did it with Sergeant Slaughter. And Smitty, we went out and got a few drinks that night after that second show. He's like, man, you've got to do something with this Diamond Dallas Page thing. I'm like, do what?
That's
it's just an idea.
It's blowing my mind.
And he says, I've got this friend of mine in the AWA, his name's Rob Russell, because Smitty is a boxer. So he does boxing most. He's doing wrestling now once a month. He said, I got this friend of mine, used to be a boxing promoter. Now he works in the AWA in the Midwest. He goes, and you should send him a tape. I go, of what? He's like, you'll think of something, you're creative. So I just put this whole thing together and I send it to Rob Russell. I swear to God, Tony, 2 weeks later, I get a call from him. Diamond Dallas Page there. Now this time I'm like, yes, who's this? Rob Russell from the AWA. We want to bring you and your boys out for a tryout. Want to bring you out to Vegas. He goes, but we've got one question. We've shown your tape around. Everybody likes your stick, but no one's ever heard of you before. Where are you guys working? Well, Rob, truth is, none of those guys can wrestle. What? Why would you send the tape? I go, because it's like a secret society. You can't get in. And, you know, and I go, but I can manage some guys while they're training. Those guys want to be wrestlers. Don't call us, we'll call you. Oh. And as fate, and this is God's work, not mine, would have it, a guy named Paul Heyman. He's a huge star in WWE. He's a creative guy, he does writing, he's booking, really smart dude. Back then he was called Paulie Dangerously, and a young manager. He left the AWA and he went to the NWA, which left a huge void for a young guy that could talk. And that's how I got started. And for 3.5 years, making no money, between that and Florida Championship Wrestling, I friggin' basically worked for nothing. Whoa. It cost me money to be Diamond Dallas Page. And I finally got the break in WCW. They brought me in as a manager. And then it took me 4 months to get a contract. 5 months into that contract, they pulled me aside and they're like, listen, Diamond, we can't let you manage anymore. I'm like, what did I do wrong? Come on, Magnum, I'll fix it. I got 2 of the best guys. I mean, I thought I was getting over. He goes, yeah, it's not your fault. I go, what do you mean it's not my fault? He goes, the hair, the clothes, the bling, the rap, the dolls. You're taking too much attention away from the wrestler. Oh, wow. And I'm like, Magnum. Wow. It's a sobering moment for me right there. I said, are you telling me I'm too over the top for professional wrestling? You know? And he said, it's not your fault, D. He goes, what we should have done is put you in a pair of tights and boots and see if you could do this. I had 7 months left of my contract, Tony. I'm like, I never got in this business because I wanted to be a manager. Maybe at the end of a career, I wanted to be a wrestler. Man,
how old were you at that point?
35.
That's when it kicked in then.
That's when it kicks in. And I go down there, and I swear to you, they beat the f*** out of me. Because you're a manager? Wait a minute.
Oh, the manager wants to be a wrestler now.
Who cares if you're 6'4"?
Yeah.
And I would keep my weight back then around 210, 215, because I didn't want to be too big. Right. You know, I just boom, 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 and started blowing up, and they realized I wasn't going anywhere. And I set the precedent down there. I literally started wrestling within 2 months, and it was only sporadic. But I stayed at that power plant for 5 years. And there was times where I was on the road, actually 4 years. I was on the road, and I come off the road, I went right back there, because I wanted to be able to wrestle with anyone. Mm-hmm. And again, it comes back to the work ethic, right? Mm-hmm. Inside this ring, this Hall of Fame ring, it says
Can I see that thing, man?
It says work ethic equals dreams, explanation point, DDP. And again, it goes through my program, that goes through everything that we do. It's the work ethic that allows the other stuff to be easy. Like, not anybody's just jumping up there and grabbing your stuff and going. Nobody. But if you work at it and you train for it, you can do it.
You know what's really impressive about you, just as an individual, like where you started and just the way you got to where you were at 35. And the career that you had, and Hall of Fame, and the championships, and across the board. None of that really should have technically happened, right? But you know, Tony Robbins invented himself. I invented me. You invented you. But beyond that, like for a lot of people, it's kind of after all that success and fame and fortune and whatnot, it's all downhill at that point. I mean, you know, a lot of guys in your industry that are just they're gone. They're not even alive. A lot of
Sure.
them, right? Whatever it is, drugs or alcohol or whatever issues, overeating or just, not taking care of themselves anymore or making bad financial issues, having a bunch of idiots in their lives. And here you are, you're 66, 60.
Going to be 66.
66. I'm going to be 64. And that I don't want to say this, your work ethic from the past has never left you.
Right.
And here you are still reinventing yourself. But what's beautiful about what you do, and I think what I do as well, is it's not about you anymore. It's not about me anymore. It's about what we can do based on who we were and who we are and how we can, and there's so much more, I don't know, for me, I get so much more out of, I love being in front of a camera and doing my shtick and everything.
Right.
I mean, I used to do stand up sort of.
Right.
Whatever.
I love that honesty.
Yeah. Like
Stand up's a lot of balls, though.
I did stuff like one of my writing partners would say to me, this woman, Nancy, would say, you're not always funny, but you're very comfortable up there.
That's awesome. But most people aren't, though.
I'd come out and just go, whatever. I didn't care. You know what I mean? I was like, whatever. I have other jobs. I don't really plan on being a comic. But the point I want to make is, here we are at this point in our life, and we're kind of starting all over again to a certain extent. And we're both successful because of who we were and what our intentions are now. Not only about, hey, I like to have a nice house and some money and a decent car and all that kind of baloney. It's really about just being a good-natured human being who's looking out for other folks and having that impact. And that feels as good as anything. I think you would agree, right?
No, dude. I mean, like we were talking about it earlier. Like neither one of us, we really have. We're in our 60s. We don't have to work anymore. We could live super comfortable and not really do anything and just enjoy whatever. Retire. Got buddies of mine who are all retired. I'm like,
me too.
I never retire.
Yeah,
because it doesn't work for me. I want to make a difference. That's the biggest thing in my speaking, with my program. We just started filming a show. We're 2 weeks into it. And it's called Change or Die.
Tell me about that.
Change or Die is, well, first let me reference the resurrection of Jake the Snake is where it really kind of started with me. And taking Jake from being booze, pills, coke, and crack. If you've never seen the resurrection of Jake the Snake, go to Amazon Prime and watch it. It's dark because it's about addiction, but it'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry, most of all, it'll inspire you. Because when you see Jake Roberts do his change, and you'd mentioned earlier that we have a new podcast out called DDP Snake Pit. And in the first episode, a lot of people know what I did for Jake in Resurrection, but they don't know why. And I take them on that journey of why I did what I did for Jake, because I don't have this life without Dusty Rhodes and Jake Roberts being in my life. They were my mentors, my brothers, my closest friends, and he gave me a gift of knowledge, and I've always wanted to repay him. Well, today, when you see Jake in the beginning of that documentary, and you see him at the end, and when you see him today, which is 8 years later, like I thought when I left filming Resurrection Jake the Snake, and this leads into Change or Die, because this is the predecessor to it. My business partner, Steve Yu, who's a storytelling genius, said, "So what do you think?" I said, "Honestly, I don't think I'll ever be able to have a serious conversation with one of my best friends. He's got so much fog on his brain from the booze and the pills and the coke and the crack that I didn't realize that fog can clear. It takes years, but in the last couple of years, like last 5 years, like Jake and I, like that's why eventually he was like, dude, we have to do a podcast. We have to do it. I go, I don't want to do it. He goes, I want you to do it with me. Cool. It's hard for me to say no to Jake because of all the things that he's done for me and I've done for him. Right. So it's a play back and forth. So knowing what happened with Jake and one of my best friends, Scott Hall, who I was telling you about just recently, is gone now. But, there was 10 years that he wouldn't have had if he didn't come in to that house. And I call that house that I own my accountability crib. And I moved 5 new people in there. And one of them is a wrestler, his name's Buff Bagwell. And I get so many different DMs or, YouTubes or Facebooks, comments, like it was people all saying, please help Scott when I was with Jake. And eventually Scott came in too. They both got sober in the same year, and they both went in the Hall of Fame the next year. And these two guys, they didn't burn the bridges. They nuked the bridges. So to get them to be where they are, and now here's Buff coming in, Buff Bagwell is coming into his house. And my whole thing is, when anyone who comes in here, you let me drive. Because your driving sucks. So let me drive. We're caught between me and Steve and our team. We're kind of proven. Just let us drive. So Buff's in there. A guy named Butterbean. Butterbean's a famous fighter.
Oh, I know Butterbean very well.
Great.
I know, yeah.
Great.
Watch Butterbean's career, sure.
Great.
He's in there right now.
He's in my house right now.
No kidding.
And when he walks in, bro, he's got the crutches, and it's as far as Butterbean can stand up. Now, how I get to work out with Butterbean like this? So what we've been working on is trying to straighten him up first, and strengthen and straighten and strengthen and straighten. So that's where it's gone the first 2 weeks. And then there's a woman named Mildred, and she's 67, 100 plus pounds overweight, and got a kind of a little hunch on her back when she's walking. Mildred, stand up. No, up, stand up. Throw your shoulders back, And then I've got a girl named Cece. She's like 33, and I've never seen a woman carry 330 the way she does. She's one of the plus size models.
Right.
Beautiful woman. She really wants to get down to. She's the one I'm not worried about changing or dying. Mildred, I am. Butterbean, I am. Buff, I definitely am. And then there's a kid who comes in, and this is how this happens. It's kind of just God's work. This is what I go to God a lot of different times, and I get a text from one of my buddies, and he says, D, I'm going to buy this kid your DDP yoga program. I'm going to get him the app. Will you give me a couple of, just say something inspiring to him that he can do it or something like that.
Yeah.
And I look at this kid, and he's a big kid. And I had one more spot left, and I hadn't given it out yet. And I said, well, I'm not going to do that right now, Jared, because I called him up. I said, I'm not going to do that right now, but what I'll do, I'm going to give my team this information, and if he fills out the qualifications, meaning that he's willing to let me drive and my team drive, then we might have something better for him. So bottom line is, he came in, and this kid's never left home. He's 21, going to be 22 in a week after he gets in the house. And now we measurements, weigh you, we do everything because we want to show the transformations to people who are watching at home. And he thinks he's 486 pounds. And
he thinks he's 400.
He thinks he's 486 pounds. He's super excited because he's lost like 20 pounds or 15 pounds. And I said, okay, get on the scale. And I got a talking scale because they can't see the scale.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it talks, and 513 pounds, and he's 5'5". All he does is put his head down and start crying. Like everybody gets choked up, And this kid is, in the last 2 weeks, has never worked, ever, but he is now. And he's inspiring the other people in the house. Like, I know if he don't change his life, he ain't got much future.
No, he does not.
Yeah. Mildred, I want her to live till she's in her 80s and 90s maybe, And Butterbean, I want him to straighten up and be able to, to be able to have a life physically because he was so amazing in the ring, And then, of course, Buff, he's getting better, but, it's a long road to hoe, and we'll see what we can do.
So kind of finish up a little bit. Then I want you to talk about a couple other things that you're also working on now. This kid Taylor.
Right.
How long have you had him?
Been 12 days right now.
12 days.
12 days. Yeah.
And what do you give him? You give him a year? How long? How much time do you work?
What I'm going to do is we're going to work with him for 3 months. And like I was saying, it's kind of like Biggest Loser with the weight thing, but not, because we're not beating up anybody.
Right.
My workout doesn't do that. No. Apprentice, in the way they had challenges, so that each challenge, like the first week's challenge was, what's your why? Like, I want to know what your why is. And
Yeah.
each one of them, we're going to have to do it and make a video. I have a whole production company. And that's the beauty of our company. We're all inclusive. And then we're going to have them start cooking. That's so funny. My daughter, Brittany, is an amazing cook, right? She's a chef. And so we first feed them like broccoli, nothing else. Chicken, nothing on it. It was killing her to serve these meals for the first 2 days because we wanted people to be like, what? We got to eat like this? Because that's how people think they have to eat if they're going to be.
But they don't.
They don't. Like on my app, dude, not only do I have over 300 workouts, friggin' over 300 motivational Mondays every Monday.
Dang.
Every Friday is another Facebook Friday where I take something. I tell people all the time, don't listen to anything I say on my program. Just go on Facebook, DDP Yoga, one word. Read what people write. It started with a couple buddies who started it. Then it went to 500 people to 1,000. Now there's 70,000 people all helping each other. So I take their stories and every Friday I talk about them. And then there's the cooking shows every Wednesday. And Brittany does most of them now, but I've done them with multiple people. But the food is completely healthy. And people want to go, how do you eat gluten-free and dairy-free and non-GMO and organic? Well, I show you. And I show you because the food. And
Jack LaLanne said, you are what you eat, man.
100%.
You know what I mean? I mean, exercise gives your body the ability to function in this world and be able to do things maybe you never thought you could do. But the food, that's your medicine. The food is what keeps the weight down. It's what, that's everything on the inside.
It makes you feel better. Like you don't realize that.
Exactly right.
Like you have to take accountability for what you're putting in your mouth if you want to know why you feel that way. And you have, with Power Life, you have the protein. Now I'm going to call them out right here. This has not been talked about. I would like you to sponsor, give us, we'll pull your stuff over and I will make the shakes with your stuff if you'll send them to us.
Well, dude, not to make this about a Power Life commercial, but I can tell you, when I got sick in 2017, I was down, 25 pounds, couldn't walk, couldn't drive, couldn't work out, forget about working out. And, there's this thing called sarcopenia. It happens to guys and gals in our age.
Right.
Getting muscle back is a bear. You don't see Jack's 90-year-olds. It just isn't possible. You know what I mean? But we came up with a formula for me, basically, how to get my weight back on. Because, look, I'm no wheat, no soy, no corn, no dairy. I'm vegan. I've been vegan for 1 year this month. And so it's been life-changing. There's a formula called Foundation 4, magnesium and sun fiber and 2 servings of vegetables and all the stuff that really is going to help.
Yeah.
No wonder I was all 6 ways screwed up, you know what I mean? And I had a lot of stress, you know what I mean? And I was just one stressed out guy. So these things were custom made for me, and now it's blowing up. To the point where we can actually have these kind of conversations with folks like you. It's been really cool. One last question.
Wait, will you do that? Will you send me your stuff?
You're leaving with it here today, brother. We got a big old bag, and we even got a hat for you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Talk a little bit about anything else you want to talk about, like your podcast.
Well, the podcast is really fun because Jake is so colorful and he has so many amazing stories. If you're not a wrestling fan, not just a chance you won't really click into it. But even we do have people come on because, the Resurrection of Jake the Snake, the documentary, it's about 3 wrestlers, but it's not about wrestling at all.
It's about life.
Yeah, it's about life. And then we did another documentary. It's right there. You can see it. Pull up Resurrection. You'll see Relentless, which is my documentary for me blowing my back out to where we are today and how we, every entrepreneur should watch it because you see the up and you see the down. And that there's a lot of mistakes get made along the way. You cannot give up. You have to be relentless with what you believe in. So that's something else. And the thing that I'm having the most fun with right now, let me just say that it took 8 years in professional wrestling to be an overnight success. Yeah. It took me 8 years for DDP Yoga to kick off. And we talked about this earlier about the first time I ever saw you was in 2003, and then your thing blows up in 2010.
Yep.
Right,
Yep.
And I saw you.
So you were
then.
back in the old Power 90 days. You're checking me out.
Yes, I saw.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
Diamond Dallas Page knew who I was.
It was the guy who was doing some filming with us goes, he knew what I was trying to do, and he goes, "Have you heard of Tony Horton?" I go, "No, I haven't." He goes, "Let me show you something. This is something we just." It was one of the guys who shot with you or something,
Oh,
and they
wow.
had footage that was no one had seen yet. So we were supposed to come together, but it took 8 years, like I said, for DDP Yoga to take off. It took 7 years for a show that right now is on as a Netflix original. It debuted a week and a half ago. It's called The Guardians of Justice, and one of my very good friends, Adi Shankar, is the creator of it, and Adi's done a bunch of stuff here in Hollywood. And I was out here doing the acting thing from 2002 to 2011, and I just knew that no one was ever going to believe in me and give me that role that could make my career because I was in my 40s, 47, 48, 49, 50. And I kept doing it. I kept acting and I kept working my craft. But I said, I'm going to do this from Atlanta because that's where my family's at. That's where my business partner Steve Hugh's at. I'm going to blow this company up. And we took off 10 years ago this May. And along the way, I kept taking the acting gigs. But about 7 years ago, Adi sent me a script. And he's like, listen, I've got this script. We're going to shoot. There's going to be shorts for YouTube. That's how it started. And he goes, pick whatever you want. And I picked the role, and he was like, you want to be who? Mind Master. I go, yeah. He goes, you don't want to be Nighthawk? Now, this is a satire. Guardians of Justice is a superhero satire. And if you don't get the satire part, you're going to go like, what the f*** is this? Okay? But it's a satire. And then it turned into a live action meets like the fight scenes are like you're living in a video game.
Wow.
Like you are in the video game. There's 8 different types of 2D animation, 3D animation, and claymation all worked through this storyline that moves so quickly. You know, sometimes you have to go back and watch it again.
I just want to say this has been an absolute thrill, dude. You are the real deal. You're as authentic as it gets. And I'm not going to lie to you. You know, when I heard that I'd be talking to you today, I thought, I don't think this is going to go well, man. I don't really. I was afraid of you, dude, a little bit. Because you're a badass, and you've done quite a bit. And I've done a few things too. But whenever you meet two people like us in our kind of worlds, sometimes they clash.
Or they do this.
Yeah, they do that.
That's like this.
And that's what happened today.
Absolutely,
I think so,
brother.
anyway, man.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
I had a great time.
Sean and I are going to hang out with you and Paige a little
Yes.
bit. That'll be fun. Have some
Absolutely.
dinner. You know what I mean? And I'm looking forward to the Christmas party. That's for sure.
Oh, dude, you're gonna love that party.
So let's. How can people find you? To find basically all of it. What are the?
Okay,
how they
so
can do it?
if you're a Twitter guy or girl, guys is me. I'm from Jersey. Everybody's a guy, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
and
guys.
it saves all the other things.
Covers-
You're guys. That's my thing for everybody.
Friends.
Friends.
Yes.
But if you're on Twitter, at Real DDP, at DDP Yoga. If you're Instagram, at Diamond Dallas Page, at DDP Yoga. Facebook for my athlete page, Diamond Dallas Page. And of course, DDP Yoga. But the site I really want you to go to, and we talked about it briefly, DDP Yoga, one word, is not my site. It's a member site. And when you see how much people care, you're never going to believe I have these 6 pictures that you take. You're never going to believe that women would show themselves 100+ pounds overweight, and some of them next to nothing, and guys who are hundreds of pounds overweight. And this program's not about a weight loss. It just happens to be because everybody's about weight loss, and anybody can do it at any level. But what happens is the people help each other. And they don't put like, hey, keep up the great work. They put paragraphs. And you can't get people to write like that unless it's really authentic.
Unless it's doing something.
Unless it's really.
And where do they
real.
go? Where do they find it? What is
If
it?
they just go to Facebook, one word, DDP Yoga. You can ask anybody, anywhere, anytime, anything on that page, and they're just people who do the program.
Right.
So, and because you had guys, your people that you had behind you, they believe because it works. Like, this works, that's why we're sharing it with you. Right. And that's what my people are about.
Ain't no gimmicks, no gadgets, nothing silly. Just honest, authentic, a little bit of work ethic mixed in, and that's what you've been able to do with me too. So.
Hey, brother. Appreciate you having me, man.
Glad
Great
you're here,
time.
man. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Thank you, everybody. Diamond Dallas Page, you're
See ya.
welcome.
Bang!
You know, I'm glad that you've really enjoyed this interview. I can tell because you're watching it, because I can see you. Anyway, since you're here, I know you're really going to fall madly in love with this next one. I mean, I'm talking about knowledge consumed by you. All you got to do is go right over there.